The answer is take the win and run.
I get hung up on certain things.
I have OCD, Jake.
I mean, hi guys, my name's Jeff. I'm an equal opportunity lover, you guys know that.
But wouldn't the dog want to stay on the meat wagon?
We say you can convince the dog to hop off.
That's insane!
Yeah, I'm intelligent.
That's such a Jeff answer right there.
He's handsome, curly-haired, and Jewish, sitting right here.
Jeff, you are a golden retriever.
Hey Jake, that's what you kids call that drip, right?
It was good despite the gastric consequences, but call me the crystal ball here, man. I'm getting everything right except my own picks. That's really, to me, a battle of two of the coaches with the best hair.
Welcome to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Founded in 2013, the EHL is your next step on the path to college. Over the past decade, the EHL has established itself as the college placement leader on the East Coast. And now, here's your host, the commissioner of the Eastern Hockey League, Neil Ravin.
Thanks, Jim. With that, let's bring in Jeff Jake this week, because Jeff is on a cruise somewhere in Florida, taking one of those Disney cruises before they even go public. Good for Jeff. But Jake, replacing Jeff this week, we have an all-time guest, and I think it would be wrong for me to introduce him. I think you have to introduce him.
Yeah, I mean, it's rarely we get an upgrade over Jeff, so sorry, Jeff, but we have first ballot EHL Hall of Famer right here, AJ Lackas, former Wolves captain, now at Albertus Magnus. AJ, thank you for being with us today, man.
Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you on, and obviously, a busy time for you. We were wondering, obviously you have a game coming up this Saturday. Being from Vegas, you can't make it back home for Thanksgiving, obviously. You're staying at school.
Yep, no one's really going home. Only a couple guys that are close to, within 4 hours.
Yeah, makes sense. Of course, you're at Albertus with a pretty stout freshman class, right? And when you look at just the EHL guys that are there, when you include yourself and Andrew Van Antwerp and Tay Mellis and Cody Walker, when you guys became teammates, was there a moment when you were like, damn, we were some of the top players in the EHL last year and now we're on the same team together?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy because we were all on the same all-star team and everything, so we all played with each other before.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of cool, just linking all back up together.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I correct in that you live with some of those guys too?
Yeah, I live with Cody Walker, and then Andrew and Tay live with each other.
Solid.
When was that planned? Was that obviously wasn't planned during the college series last year?
No. Well, Cody committed later, and Andrew did too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then Tay obviously was the first one really early.
Yeah, for sure. Before we hit record, I kind of teased this with you. In terms of that college series, which you got to play in for the EHL side, I'm sure you're going to hear about this soon from your coach, and hopefully you can act surprised then too. We're actually playing you next season. We've been working out the details with Coach Wallach, still trying to finalize the location, but you're going to be on the other side now.
That's going to be fun. Yeah, that'll be actually real fun to play in. Can't wait for that.
For sure. Going back to that college series, though, we're not just saying this because we have you on and Jake's going to attest this statement. You were one of the best players on the college series team last year. When you got into that action, was there a moment second shift, third shift when you realized hey, I can play at this level?
Yeah, definitely. I think after the first period, when we went back in the locker room, we all kind of was just everyone was kind of just looking at each other we could easily play at this level. We could definitely skate by these guys and work them in the corners and stuff like that. Was
I accurate with that statement, Jake?
Yeah, no, I think he was the best player out of anybody on the ice in that Fredonia game. And similar to that, is there a moment getting to your college campus and getting on the ice for the first time with these guys where you realize okay, this is college hockey at this level now, with a full college team?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Pretty much right as I got to campus, going to class and everything, and then going to practice after class, I was like, all right, this is, I'm in it now. And
yeah, so how has it been readjusting to that student life too?
Oh, it's been great. The school here, they do a really good job getting all the guys dialed in and making sure there's no problems with their classes or anything. And then they make the adjustment pretty easy with like just you're not taking high major classes yet. You're still doing like just your English and your math classes, and yeah, they make it real easy for you to adjust.
And one thing we like about having alumni on the podcast is hopefully it means that players that are in the league currently get the chance to kind of hear your story. So can you walk kind of the current EHL player through your recruitment story to Albertus and kind of how that process went?
Yeah, so I talked to Brian Troy, our assistant coach, after a couple of our games. I think the first one was at Worcester, the first showcase of the year.
Mhm.
And then, so we started getting in contact then, and just throughout the season, we still talked. And then I believe around in March or February is when I went on my visit. And then I committed on the spot at the visit.
What was it about on the spot that was like the final like stamp of approval that made you commit right then and there?
Um, well, we are in like a top division right now in the NEHC, and
Mhm.
then we're moving into the UCHC next year. So that was big, like on decision making where I wanted to play what division, because obviously some are stronger than others.
Yep.
And then the locker room here is unreal too. Like it's a pro style locker room. It's unreal.
And it's a unique rink setup, if I remember correctly, too. It's
Yeah.
not like fully closed. Is that correct?
Yeah, partially outdoors. I like it. It has some character to it.
Yeah. I know I've seen some videos of Coach Wallach skating around. You know, I'm actually going to share my screen because I have to ask a question about this. I don't know if you know, but I have a group text with Coach Wallach and Chris Sorella because they, at one point, Coach Wallach coached Chris Sorella. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
when Coach Wallach, I know you can't see it clearly, does he actually wear these gloves during practice?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Does that get any reaction from the players, or can that not be brought up?
I think it's just normalized now.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, he's been wearing them since I got here, so.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I had to bring it up.
And is there been any amount of like a culture shock going from, kind of the sticks in Laconia to back to the city life again? Because I know I think you said in one of the interviews that you're not a huge like city guy.
Yeah.
Is it been any adjustment for you?
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's kind of a mix of like Vegas and just like kind of just a normal town city. Like it's not like big casinos and strip everywhere, but it's still like a fun, like there's still a lot of stuff to do during the daytime, and we're by the water too, so we could go to the beach during the summer or whatever.
Have you dabbled in any New Haven pizza?
Oh yeah. Sally's is really good.
Yeah.
Pepe's is good. Modern's definitely in my top five. And
Okay.
this one place 163. It's like a walk from my house. I think that's the best.
All right.
Were those the answers that you wanted, Jake? Because I know you wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, no, I mean those are all really good answers. And I mean the 163 one, I think that me and Trevor might be hitting that one up now.
Yeah, it's a different type of pie, but it's good.
Okay. Well, I went to Quinnipiac, and Quinnipiac had shuttles that took the students into New Haven to go to the bars and whatnot. So I got to ask, have you been to Toad's place yet?
I have not been to Toads yet.
Okay.
No, I've heard about Toads though.
Yeah, it's okay. I obviously didn't go there. I mean, I went there like over 10 years ago at this point. I'm not sure how much it's changed, but a little sticky. The floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it's a fun place.
So we touched on, the process of going from the Wolves to college, but let's go back further. Let's go back to, being from, Vegas, and then how you ended up in Laconia. How did you come in contact with the Wolves? How did that all come about?
So I knew I wanted to play in the EHL just to get more exposure, to get like more college looks and stuff like that. So I kind of just went on the website, saw what most teams have to offer and stuff like that, and then found the Wolves, and I just texted Coons, and then we started getting in contact there, and then he offered me a contract. So that
It's
went
like a
pretty.
cold call.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
The rest is history.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just one text, and then we started in contact.
And in that sophomore season you had, you were obviously banged up for a little while with the back injury. So how important was trusting the process that year for you, especially knowing it wasn't your age out year?
Yeah, that took a toll when that happened. Well, because mainly at first, like doctor told me I couldn't play anymore. So then that's when I was like, oh, this is horrible. Then I went back home, didn't do much. I couldn't really get out of bed for a bit. And then yeah, after a while it just started like healing really fast and didn't feel much anymore. So I decided to start skating again. Went to another doctor and he said it's actually more common than people think in athletes. So then yeah, so I started skating again and then pretty much, yeah, right before playoffs, got my first game in, got hit in the face with a puck, almost lost an eye, but yeah, we still got back in it.
And you had a decent playoff run. I mean, not like you personally, you picked up a point in one of those playoff
Yeah.
games, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not too bad, not the result we wanted at all, but
Well, obviously, you're an alumni now, but I'm assuming you still keep tabs on the Wolves in the current season that they have going on.
oh yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you're not there right now, but the Avalanche are in first place. Wolves kind of nipping at their heels, but it's key to note that I'm not sure what this trend is. I want to ask you what the trend is, and why that's the case. But when the Avs go to Laconia, they have struggled. They've gone there twice this year and they've lost twice. What is it about that home advantage for the Wolves?
It's a hard place to play in. I don't know. I talked to like Walker and Tate Mellis about it too. No one likes playing there because it's just like it's hard to play us at home. I don't know what it is. I think we also just play better for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess just atmosphere or something like that. It must be
Yeah.
the bus ride too, because for some teams it's a hike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's not like it's direct
It's
off
definitely
the
off the
highway, and then when it gets
No,
later in the
yeah.
season, it's a very dark ride, I
And
would say.
snowy. Yeah.
Now, how much do you miss that community aspect up in Laconia? And obviously that's something that you guys harp on pretty big at the Wolves.
Yeah, no, I definitely miss it. It was a fun time. I really thought like the community really brought like a lot of support to the team, and there was always like people that knew who the Wolves were whenever we go into the town and stuff. So that was always cool to have around.
Obviously, now flipping back to where you're currently at Albertus, already got your first goal this season. A different schedule than juniors,
Mhm.
where juniors every other week you could have a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday game. Obviously, there's more structure and kind of more weekend games. In getting adjusted to that, how did you have to change your preparation, kind of looking ahead and saying, like, right now, okay, on Saturday we play Wesley, and then the following Saturday we play Trinity, and then we're not playing again until January. How do you kind of have to dial it back in a way when there's not as many games that you're playing? How do you adjust?
Yeah, well, you definitely have to like up the recovery a lot because games are a lot more physical. It's more like a playoff style every single game since there's
Mm-hmm.
not a lot less. And then yeah, I mean like preparation wise, it's not like we have any more quick turnarounds like Tuesday game and Friday game. So
Yeah,
you actually get to take a longer week and just make sure you're slowly getting ready for it instead of like trying to make your body like right away, just putting it into game time.
for sure, for sure. Are you looking ahead at all to the tournament that you guys have in Tampa in
Uh,
January?
that'll be fun. Yeah, I can't wait. Play some out of division teams too. That'll be a good one.
Well, we appreciate having you on. Awesome that you already have your first goal at the next level. I know Jake was ecstatic to have you on the podcast after all the interviews. How many times did you interview AJ after a showcase game?
We probably did like 4 or 5.
Yeah, definitely a good
Okay.
amount.
So the first time on the podcast and it worked out. I'm sure you can mention it to Coach Wall. Like him and I have been talking. You can tell him that you heard about the college series, and you can tell the other EHL guys as well.
Can I confess
Oh,
something here? I think I might. I think told AJ myself
Oh, okay.
actually.
I
I
was
think
about
I
to
like
say,
said like we might.
I heard
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Well, now I know where Jake stands in terms of secrets, I guess you could say.
Listen, it's like like if you tell me a secret, you're also telling AJ Lackas. That's just how it
Okay,
goes.
noted in my
Oh,
head
yeah.
now. So we appreciate you coming on. Wish you the best of luck this upcoming Saturday against Wesleyan. We'll be following for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks again for having me on.
Yeah, see AJ.
Now it's time for the eShow Fantasy Challenge. Follow along on the EHL app. Available now for free on both Apple iOS and Android.
So as we start every fantasy segment on the podcast, we focus first on our Yahoo League, which may need its own podcast in the future, Jake, because there is so much drama in the Yahoo League this year. But I think what I have to highlight first is, this is obviously self-interest, but have you seen the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner?
No.
Oh, that ruins the whole thing.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, essentially, like, you're a very smart person, as you said in the intro, right?
I say it to make myself believe it. I don't know how
Yes.
true
So
it is.
I promise you, if you watch Draft Day once, you will predict the ending as it's happening because
Okay.
it's just that predictable. But I'm gonna ruin it for you right now
That's
because
okay.
I have to, right? So essentially he's the GM of the Cleveland Browns and he makes a ridiculous trade, but then like basically reverses the trade later on and gets back everything that he traded away. So I bring that up because I literally traded Swayman and then got him back. So I
Um,
am Kevin Costner right now.
okay. Okay.
And Ted, if you're listening, like I'm sorry, but thank you. So and I'm playing Ted this week, and he last night begins the night with a hat trick from Nico Heischer. I think he had like 6 goals last night, and I'm only down like 8 points. So
Okay.
I'm pretty happy with my Kevin Costner impersonation. So but Thanksgiving break homework for yourself. You should watch Draft Day.
Yeah, I'm looking to improve my movie repertoire. I just watched The Departed for the first time. That's a really good
For
movie.
the first time?
Yeah, like the song by The Script for the first time. Yes.
Yeah, but like that's like my favorite movie.
Really?
That's a really good movie.
Do you know my favorite movie? You should know my favorite movie. I talk about it a lot. Brad Pitt.
Moneyball, duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. You have a big matchup in Yahoo this week though too.
Yeah.
Mikey's been texting me a lot on the side.
As he does.
Like I don't know if this is something that you have to address, Jake, but like, does he just text too fast?
Dude, he's the worst texter in the world.
So I gotta find what he said to me yesterday because I lost it laughing. Like I think like you can go back and edit. Like, does he know that you can go back and edit?
I don't think he knows like much about like anything, to be completely honest.
So he took a shot in the group at Justin. Obviously, your team is facing Justin this week.
Yeah, well, yes.
And he tried to say that I just caught a stray, like it in the group message. And he wrote to me, "You just sausage a stray, LOL." And I'm like, sausage? What does this have to do with sausage? How does caught become sausage?
Dude, some of the things he said.
Your team, which is in, I believe, second place right now, right?
Yeah, and you're chirping us because we don't have a ton of scoring. We play a defensive system. We're the New Jersey 87s, okay?
The best was I said that you guys hadn't hit 900 points yet, but you were at like 899.80. So you're like literally like one shot away from 900.
I didn't even notice that part.
But again, if your 5-2 record reverses, as I always say every week, you can pivot to DraftKings.
The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple, like picking a team to win. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved. For those that don't know, this is obviously a recorded and edited episode. Jake did great this week. So we were actually able to move on to the e-show side of fantasy a lot quicker than the last time Jake had to do this whole read by himself. So well, I was just delaying it, I guess. I should have done the same thing this time. I do not want to talk about fantasy.
Well, do you remember how the top 5 finished in October?
Well, that's what hurts, I think, the most about it. Like, I'm sure Christopher Richard's a great guy, and I look forward to meeting him. But like, that was like a who's who of like all my favorite people right after Christopher Richard. And I was like, okay, now I need to hit the leaderboard. And then November 7th, I'm in first place.
Yep.
And now, like, I feel like the chorus to Fast Car. I'm just like so sad when I look at fantasy.
I feel like the chorus to Fast Car.
You know that song?
That's the intro to the podcast now. Like, erase everything else. Put that in the intro. Anyways, it was Christopher Richard in first place, right? Justin got second place. I got third. Derek Lewis got fourth, and Olivia got fifth, right? So combination of players and staff. Have you seen how the month of November finished yet?
Oh yeah, dude, it's a sausage party. Nothing but dads up there.
I like how you're making this sausage thing with your brother a reality now. And it's all parents. So you start at the top, the winner, Patrick Johnston, whose son is on the New Jersey Bears. But the key thing to make note of, he would not have won if it wasn't for Jason Larico on Saturday night. Because goalie wins are 4 points, and that win for the Nor'easter against Providence was a 4-point swing. And if he had lost that game, he goes down to 98.6, meaning Andy Trottier would have been in first place. We talked about this last week. Andy was done at this time last week because he had all Wolves players on their EHLP team and they didn't play again. So I actually think Declan Kelly had a goal in that game too for Providence. So a +3 for him, but -1 for J-Lo, as you love to say, right? So that was like, if we had live scoring, which I'm sorry to those that are just disappointed about this, we never will for fantasy. Like, it's just too much. I mean, maybe if we can get Mikey focused on maybe that could be his task, right? But
I wouldn't trust them.
It came right down to that shootout. For Patrick Johnston, they finish in first. Then look at third. Greg Bankovitz, obviously he has his 2 kids, Christopher and Michael. Jim Pasqualone, thinking that has to be Caden's father. And then Tom Storella has to be Danny Storella's father. So like this thing, like that's kind of cool. Like we never had it like all parents like that in the top 5. And yeah, I mean 15th is not a bad finish, Jake. Is that your best month?
No, the first ever month when I had AJ Lackas, I placed 11th.
Got it. So it started off better, but
I was in first place.
You were in first place
18 days ago.
Yeah. And I think I said this on a previous episode, because I took Cooper St. Hilaire this month as my defenseman, and I think he's a great defenseman. And obviously I was kind of upset about the points, only because nobody took Daxton.
Yeah.
Not a single person took Daxton.
Daxton had
he had 21
craziest
points this month.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out what that would translate in terms of fantasy points, but like that's an unreal month.
Yeah. That's historic.
So looking ahead to December, is it safe to say that some forwards that haven't been taken yet, or here, let's do this. Of 3 forwards that haven't been taken yet, who do you think will have the highest ownership, Jake, when you look at Daxton, St. Hilaire, Legkoff, and Adams from the 87s?
Oh,
Those
wow.
3 guys have not been taken yet.
I know who I think I'm going to go with.
And it's not one of them.
No, it is. It is.
Oh,
one
okay.
Of them. Yeah.
That's why I exposed you just now.
It's Legkoff.
Okay.
Yeah. What do I care? I'm not going to win anyway. But yeah, no, I think my pick's Legkoff, but I think it will be Daxton. There's just got to be so much recency bias with that, people. Yeah. I mean, he was on the front page of Stars of the Week, right? Like 2 or 3 times this month. So
yeah, and for those that are wondering, Stars of the Month will come soon, and he's probably the forward of the month. I think that goes without saying.
Yeah. And left a lot of points on the table by not picking both brothers, Neil. Did Mr. Bankovitz only pick one of his kids?
I mean, that could have made for a tough Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know.
So, but just to highlight some of the players that had great months that were selected, right? Charles Etienne Waugh, 51 points. Declan Kelly, 33. Those Bankovitz brothers that Jake just mentioned, 34 for Chris Bankovitz, 26 for Michael. Jason Larico, who we talked about, 43.6. Christopher Richard, who won the first month, had 29.4.
Not forget about Swedish Superman, Ville Boden.
Yeah, I gotta find him here. Where did he had
34, I
30,
think 30 something. Yeah.
34
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah. Heck of a month.
Riley Van Son, 29, not including shootout points. If you could petition shootout points in there, he'd have a lot more. Because I think he won 2 shootouts for the Eagles.
Soft mitts from Riley Handsome.
Austin Haldane had 32. There's a lot of guys that were in the high 20s to low 30s. Alex Koenig, 32.4. Brendan Nee, 33.2. It was just a really good month for a lot of players, and they did it in 24 days because there's no games from the 25th through the 30th end of the month. And again, for those that are starting to get their ducks in a row and get settled for December, it's a similar month in that once the December showcase ends, there are no more games. So from the first game being on December 3rd to the last game being on December 19th, it's only like a 16-day window, but there's a lot of action in that time.
Since it is December, do you just go both Sember brothers as your skaters?
Wow. Like when we opened this Zoom, Jake, I thought you were asleep, but then you come out with that. And I gotta say, what is on your wall behind you?
Los Pollos Hermanos from Breaking Bad.
Okay, I haven't watched the show.
You made a Kevin Costner impersonation joke, and like there's a Kevin Costner impersonation joke in Breaking Bad.
Okay, so I'll go watch Breaking Bad.
But I couldn't have made that reference. I couldn't. Yeah, no. You listen, dude. Breaking Bad is probably a lot better than anything that's cooked up in the 2 hours of draft day.
Not much. It's an okay movie. It's a very okay.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't saying it was a good movie.
Sports movies can be pretty hit or miss, unless it's Moneyball.
Mystery Alaska was pretty good too.
Never seen that one, dude.
Wow. Spoiler: the good team doesn't win.
Oh wow. I saw a couple Charlie Conway jerseys at the Islander game last night. Who is the greatest 99 of all time? Is it Adam Banks or is it Wayne Gretzky? Because I have a take on this.
It's Wayne Gretzky.
It's Adam Banks.
No, it's not. Is that take over?
That's the take. That's the whole take.
I got it. Yeah. If you guys haven't noticed, we're skipping what to watch for this week because there are no games to watch for. Maybe it's just to watch. What's your favorite dish coming up on Thursday? Green bean casserole.
Stuffing. I'm basic. Stuffing and then apple pie for dessert. Oh, you can't eat apple pie because your dad's a dentist.
I don't understand why that was even a statement that you texted me. Like apple pie. Okay, if you guys want to make fun of me and say oh, your dad's a dentist, you can't eat candy. Haha, it kind of makes sense. And I don't chew gum, so it kind of makes sense.
Or drink coffee.
But what's wrong with apple pie?
Dude, there's a lot of sugar in apple pie.
It doesn't do anything to your teeth.
What are you talking about? Sugar does stuff to your teeth.
No, but not to the same level candy does.
9 out of 10 dentists say sugar does stuff to your teeth.
Not the same way candy does. There's not as much sugar in apple pie as there is in candy.
There's probably so much more, dude, in a thing of chocolate versus a slice of apple pie. It's probably 10 times the amount.
Then I hate to bring it to you. I don't eat that much pie. And it's not because my dad's a dentist.
I think it is. He's going to be there. You can't look like you're struggling in front of.
When it comes to desserts, I'm a big ice cream guy.
Okay. So this time you just put it on top of apple pie.
Maybe. I'm really excited for just eating turkey.
I love turkey.
I just love turkey.
Yeah, I'm responsible for the turkey. I'm a turkey guy.
You're involved in the cooking? I shouldn't say that. You're a good cook. I've seen the pictures.
It's one of 3 things I'm good at, dude.
Well, I'm not allowed near the kitchen during Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, so it's more hey, you go defend the children.
You like cider? Are you gonna drink some cider?
I actually don't like cider.
Oh, my bad. Forgot to hold that.
No, it's not the sugar.
Whoa.
You literally in the intro said it. The gastric consequences. There you go. Okay. That in the intro it came from your ice cream sandwich trip, right?
That's correct.
Cider has the same impact on me. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Nothing to do with sugar or my father being a dentist.
Got to see Moritz cider tuck on the Islanders yesterday.
Yes, you did.
That's tough.
Well, thanks again to AJ Lackas for coming on the podcast this week. Obviously, I think he's Jake's favorite player of all time. If we were ever to start an EHL Hall of Fame, I think Jake would play him as a first ballot guy. Goes without saying, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I think I referred to him at Providence as first ballot EHL Hall of Famer, AJ Lackas.
We appreciate him coming on, though. Obviously, no Jeff this week. We're hoping Jeff is having a great time someplace warm right now, away from the hockey rinks. And we'll be back next week to preview the month of December, which, as I mentioned, it's only 16 days, but it's a sprint to the holiday break with a jam-packed 16 days, including the December showcase at Haverhill Valley Forum. I just called it Haverhill Valley Forum. They changed the name, Paul T. Gilmartin Memorial Arena, which the host, of course, one of Jake's favorite coaches, too. So we'll talk to you next week, Jake, with Jeff.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.